Yeah, YouTubers, Tasman here, bringing you another episode of Fantasy Grounds from the ground up. In our last episode, oh boy, did I ever derp and have a big old fail. So I did do research, and it is a feature that you can create your own backgrounds and various other things. So this guy right here, uh, it doesn't actually parse any of the information from here. This is just note stuff. It seems like it would be easy enough to actually have it parse this information and go, oh yeah, skill, insight, religion. However, it doesn't actually do that. Everything's based off of what's in the other tab, which, to be completely honest, on almost everything except the character sheet, I always forget these tabs are even here. So yeah, that was my bad. There is a way to do it. However, you need to have a program called Parse5 that which is PAR5E, to parse it, and then you can actually learn the coding to say yes, this is the heading, and you can actually have all the backgrounds in one giant document or module, and then you'll be able to load that module and access that stuff. So as far as this guy goes, it sounds like it's in the plans. And if you're not on the live one, I believe there's some, if you're like on the test or the, is it alpha channel? I can't remember all the channels, but if you're on one of those earlier type development channels, you can actually test what they've been doing. However, like I said, at this time, I'm focusing on what's actually available in the, I guess, release channel, even though it might even still be cut. I think Fantasy Grounds is still considered in beta. I don't think it's been released. I think that's Foundry. So that's with backgrounds. However, with classes and races, well, at least with classes, I'm pretty sure there is an option in here. If we add one under other, you can actually see it does have lots of the information. So if you want to create a new class, you can do that where you're setting up the armor, saving throws, spells, skills, tools, weapons, armors, multi-class proficiencies. Not 100% sure what that's supposed to mean. But then you can also add features, specializations, and all that stuff. And then, of course, you have to add that plain text. I'm not actually going to go into that right now because I mean, I guess we could. Like, I could go pull up. What would I pull up? I mean, one of the most simple ones would probably be a fighter. So we went under all and just looked at, say, a fighter, because they're pretty basic. So, like I said, all this stuff up front, this is all just text. I was under the impression that it's parsing it because lots of other things parse just from the main thing. However, it's this other tab where all that information is. As you can see here, here's the features when you get them, so fighting style and all that fun stuff. So we can actually, I want to close this just to see if we can get it right. I do this also in my Foundry VTT because there's not a lot of documentation on some of the things that you do. So I figure a trial by error. I mean, I've never professed that I am the end all when it comes to knowledge on Foundry or on Fantasy Grounds. I do have a good knowledge of it, and I love to share that knowledge with you guys. However, like I said, I'm not the end all. There's lots of other people probably much more knowledgeable than me, but I've been told that I can explain things in a good way that makes them a little easier to understand. So I'm going to pull up in D&D Beyond a fighter, and we're just going to kind of look at it. We've already gone over lots of times how to do the formatting and things like that. So I'm not going to do that, but I do have this pulled up in another window as well that I can see that you can't. But I just wanted to kind of point out these things, and we'll see which ones we actually can figure out. So here's our table, here's our class features, and all this fun stuff. And this is where we actually start having the different features and stuff where we add them in. So let's go ahead, and we're going to ignore the first page. Like I said, is just basically eye candy. It helps you put it in an ongoing format, and that's the one you actually use when you're doing your thing. Although I guess you could use this one too and just drag the individual things that you need. I don't know. So we're gonna go ahead and say HD per level. Looking at the fighter, I'm gonna scroll down in my thing here, right here. So if we go look at our fighter here, right here, you can see we get 1d10 per fighter level. Now, one thing with Fantasy Grounds, and we probably should have up our other fighter, is syntax is very important. So it might actually be exactly the words 1d10 per fighter level. Other words, it will not parse correctly. So I think this will be a good thing to actually have that, and that's NPCs, to actually have that one up as well. But we're going to mostly be focusing on what D&D Beyond, for example, says. Let's just go ahead. We'll use the Player's Handbook Fighter and go in here. So as you can see, it does say 1d10 per fighter level. So we're going to keep that exactly as is, and that is not 1d10 per fighter level. So it will parse this correctly. However, if you don't have exactly what they have here or in that type of format, it will not parse correctly. All right, so if we go look at proficiency, it says all armors and shields in D&D Beyond, as you can see right here, all armor and shields. So if we copy that maybe, and then I have to go back down here, we do it like that. Case sensitivity I don't think is an issue, so I don't think you need to worry about that. Let's go to saving throws, is strength and constitution. Skills, so you want to say choose two, and then you give the list. Looks like it's just comma separated. So here are our skills. So it's pretty much the exact same language, it looks like, that is being used in the Player's Handbook and on D&D Beyond, which is nice because you can cut and paste from D&D Beyond way better. So this is the skills. Let's go and paste that. Next we have tools. Let's go check tools. I'm not even looking over here because I want to actually make sure we're doing it, and then we'll kind of check our progress, see if we're getting it right. So tools is none. Weapons, these are weapon proficiencies. We have simple and martial weapons. So in short, that's all weapons. I don't know if there's an option for all weapons. So we'll just go ahead and put it as is and do a V. Our armor, this is our armor proficiencies. Oh wait, no, this is the multi-class. I have no idea where they get this from. Light, medium, and shields. I'm gonna have to look that one up because that I can't unlock that. Light, medium armor, and shields. So we could probably just paste in weapons again, and then we could do C and V and change this to, what was it, light, comma space, medium, ARMOR, and shields. well, comma shields. So there we go. Now I'm assuming, so features is kind of like the backgrounds where uh, it's part of the module, and I would imagine use this parse program or PAR5E program also to do that, because there is no features. We have feats but not features. So if we come into our thing here, we can see that, and you just kind of start at the top, say at level 1, blah blah blah. Let's see, does this tell us at starting at second level is action surge? So at first level, and we can see this also in here, we get the fighting style and we get second wind, then we get action surge with 1 use. So let's go ahead, and I'm assuming we're just able to drag and drop these things. I'm curious if we will. So if we click on add here, oh no, you don't. So where do we get fighting style from? And I imagine I could drag it from here to here. No, actually I can't. I would think that you would just be able to drag it, because we're not going to be able to create an item What if I drag it on top of the features? No. So this is interesting. Where can we get and this might be something that's more available inside of one of the beta alpha type versions where they're working on this stuff. I don't know how actively they're working on this, but the only way I could see that maybe you could do something like this is, we know this is the level, so this is what level you get that. But then you actually have to, what did that say? Did that say class? Oh, new class feature. And the only way, but we can't actually drag. We can't actually drag our thing over, which means I was thinking the only way it would work is maybe if I created a note, because I should, in theory, no, because that has the owner. There we go. So even this isn't a note, and this is a feature. And we don't have, and this is kind of the same thing we ran into with the background, is we have things like this where the only way to do it probably is to create it outside of Fantasy Grounds, and then it seals it up as a module, and then we bring it into Fantasy Grounds. Because we definitely, anything that has something that we can't create an individual thing for is going to have that issue. And I imagine that's going to be the same with specializations. We don't actually have a specializations type button, so we can't actually add one. We could simply come in here and add it this way. Can we add champion? No. So I guess as far as it goes, that in the program, that's as far as we can actually get. Let me check. Yeah. Very interesting. Now, I'm not considering this a fail type of episode because we're learning what we need to do, and we do know now that a lot of this stuff might not be available at this point, but I wanted to see how far we can actually do. Now, I wonder if it's the same thing with races. If we say, let's just create an elf, for example. So we go to elf. Does it have the same type of thing under other? Yes. However, see, we can't create our own sub-races, and we can't create traits. So right there, right off the beginning, we can see that we're not going to be able to create a race either, because we don't have those tools right now in Unity, and as far as I know, they're also not in Fantasy Grounds Classic. So that is very interesting. And if you guys are interested, I can try and look into the parse program, which simply just makes it so that it can create the type of files that this thing understands the best. But obviously we cannot create these three things. Feats is probably going to be the same type of thing. Let's just check that real quick. It doesn't even have any. So this could only do it through. This is basically just a note, but it's called a feat. Because it doesn't actually do anything, it's just a feat. I guess that makes sense. Are there any of these that have more in them? Oh, why'd that put that way up there? Charger, no. What about Dwarven Fortitude? No, that's pure. Okay, so that's feats. So backgrounds, classes, races, feats. Skills, we know we can create, right? That's right, right? I guess we have to find out. Because skills is simply just information. However, if we go to create one, do we get the choice of at least ability? Let's go into and categorize so we can see it. So yeah, so at least we get the ability which it uses, and then the description of it, and then the name of it. I mean, that's all a skill really is those three things. So we can create our own skills, and we've actually done that inside of Fantasy Ground, inside our character sheet. You can create them there, but this would just make them so you could actually draw them. Like, for example, let's do that. Let's do Thieves Tools, for example. Let's go add Thieves Tools, because that is one that a lot of times, anytime there's a rogue, I always THIEVE, isn't it like that? Tools. And then we know the ability is DEXTERITY. Is that spelled right? And then the ability itself, let me go look on D&D Beyond for Thieves Tools real quick. Scroll up. THIEVES, THIEVE, Thieves Tools. Might not have that comma right there. Oh, it has the comma after. So here we go. Here is the text for it. Oh no, this is actually not the skill. This is the equipment. Control C. Let's see if it actually lists the skill. Information for the skill. Equipment. Maybe we'll say ROGU rogues ABILITY to pick L-O, oh my gosh, I can't type, O-C-K, picklocks or something, I don't know. So that would be thieves tools, for example. Then let's see if this works. So if we take our blank character here and we want to add a skill, I think we have to go into that. Do we have to go in that mode? And thieves tools. Ha ha! That worked beautifully. I like it. That really looks weird to me though. So yeah, we can create our skill, that's really nice. Spells, we've already gone over those before. Well, I guess have we? Like if we want to go into uncategorized, let's try and create one. I think we've done this before. So let's call this my SPELL, my spell summary, really cool. Spell level is 0, it's a cantrip. School is EVOCATION, evocation, it's not a ritual. Casting time is, and I wonder if you could just type 0 or 1. Range is 100. Components, none. Duration, 1 MINUTE. That must be for notes. And then the source, where it's actually at. So yeah, you create your own spells. Pretty simple there. And then when you click on it, you get your information. Of course, we could have the notes in there as well. And we've kind of done this with, what was it we've done it with? I don't remember. But I mean, we've kind of played with that. So I think that kind of covers going down this list of things that we have created custom. Once we get to background, down to races, it seems like our ability, these 4 right here, we can't actually create our own without having a third-party tool. Now, like I said, if you are interested in checking it out, you can always go join like the alpha channel or whatever and get more information or see how far they've actually moved on that. But the parse program, which is PAR5E, I'm not sure if that's because it's related to Dungeons Dragons 5e or not, but that program actually is designed to create parsed files that this understands. And I think that's about it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a thumbs up down below. Aside from that, comment, like, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter. Check out my Discord and my other YouTube channels. I have 2. I have Taz Unplugged and Taz Teaches. They don't get as much love as this guy. But if people leave me comments and say, hey, could you do a video on this, then I will definitely add more things to that. But anyway, that's it. So until next time, I'll be seeing you later. Bye.